allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And I'm not singing.
Rick's up. He's got something ready for us.
Anybody hearing anything?
No?
No, I'm not here.
Yeah, I think I got a problem, Houston. Sounding good in rehearsal. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with light from above. From the mountains to the prairie to the ocean, why home? God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home. Boy.
We need
Everybody's going to try to sing.
Good
I'll go
job.
ahead and direct.
Hey, Errol.
to practice that.
That's great. Okay, so just a couple quick announcements. Rob is the conductor. Okay, thank you, Phyllis. I don't know if some of you heard it, but if you could keep Dick and Dale Phoebus in your thoughts and prayers. Dale had a fall yesterday morning and broke her wrist and had surgery yesterday afternoon into yesterday evening. So we're waiting to hear an update on how she's doing with that. I haven't heard anything else on people who might need our thoughts and prayers, but if you do know, please let me know in the chat at the bottom. It looks like we do have 4 guests today. We have Tony DiNicola from the Noon Club. We have Dick Cannon from the Noon Club. And I don't know who Scott Miller is. Does anybody know Scott Miller? I don't know, because Trish Miller's name's come up. And then we also have our speaker, Stephanie Urchick, here with us. Thank you. It's a great honor to have you. We have some time. Does anybody have any happy dollars that they want to raise their hands and let us know things that are going on? Steve Leicester, you're up.
Good morning, everybody. Well, my happy dollar is always for my grandkids, who we will be seeing them with safe social distancing on Saturday. So very excited about that.
Awesome. Ron and Jean, did you guys raise your hand? There we go.
Special.
Now you're unmuted.
Thank you very much for, we had a quick 24-hour fundraiser where the funds that were donated for Shelterbox USA were matched by an organization, donations of $25 to $100. And Stephanie, thank you very much for sending that email out to everybody.
Welcome.
And in a very short period of time, to no surprise, we had over 15 of our Rotarians get online and donate. And under my name, there were 6 donors that had $325. All of that is matched. And our Rotarians that went in and just donated, there were another 8. And so I tried to thank everybody, but Paula, Joanne, Robert, Gail, Jack Davis, Marie, Brent and Cheryl, Scott, Gary, Jeff Gower, Jeff Cohen, Sean, all of you guys.
And another under Rotary.
And another under Rotary. And there were anonymous people too that didn't have their name. And those are the ones that I could see. So thank you very much. There was over $725 raised in a very short period. That's matched. And so that's $1,500, which will go towards a very worthy cause for people that don't have anything right now. We're fighting the COVID in countries that aren't supported a lot. And thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you. Dave Gardner?
I let John Woods know that we have agreed to provide scholarship support to the culinary program again this year. He was obviously very pleased and said he was not sure exactly how the school is going to handle recognition of the scholarship winners, but he wanted to pass along his thanks to all of the club members.
That's awesome. Thank you. We gave our usual $5,000 to the culinary school, and if you're not familiar with the process, usually Dave gets a group of us together and we go over to the school in the mornings right before about lunchtime, and we get to sample some of their food. So, and I heard broccoli was actually going to be off the menu this year too.
It better be.
Anything else, Dave?
No, that's it.
Okay, great. Earl or Gail, did you guys have something to say? Because you were unmuted.
In my case, we obviously are going to be headed back to club at Hacienda sometime in the very near future. I'm going to make the same pitch I made before. I would hope that individuals will not come empty-handed. We've been away from Hacienda for so long that hope you've been stockpiling some items so that that table can be full. We have at the church have started sorting through everything so that we will be ready to do the distribution. We've talked to the school social services departments. They've assured us that they will have a means by which they can see that the kids who have a particular need are going to get the products that are necessary so that they can stay clean. We need to remember this is not a 40-week-a-year kind of program that we try and keep them clean just during the school year. We want to keep them clean all the time, particularly for the high school kids, so that they can work. Because this is one of those cases of if they're not clean, they're not going to find employment no matter what. So I'm hoping that people, when we go back, are going to be able to have a bag full of goodies that we'll be able to use for the Clean Kids Backpack program.
Great. Rick Hutchins?
It's the scholar. We are going to continue with the scholarships this year, and we'll be meeting, the scholarship committee will be meeting next Friday to review applications that we have. The kids are still going to go back to college, we hope, and we're going to be here as we have every year to help them.
Great. Thank you. Greg Pangian.
Gail, I had a conversation with you a few weeks ago about people utilizing Amazon and their automatic delivery program that they had, and you liked that idea. And I wondered, and I did bring it up at the meeting last week, and wondered if you could share with us when we could start having things shipped to your home instead of bringing them to a meeting.
Oh, I muted him again. Gail, can you unmute yourself?
I will take items anytime. We seem to have FedEx, UPS, and Amazon Prime stop at the house at least 5 times a day. So as a result, a few more times certainly isn't going to hurt. My home address is 3391 Reston. Of course, you can find it in the membership list. But again, what Greg mentioned certainly is a great idea. We've done it here. We've got 2 or 3 buttons in the house, and I remember asking my wife, "What are these?" She said, "All I have to do is push the button, and Amazon Prime sends paper towels, or Amazon Prime sends a case of Kleenex," that type of thing. You can do it with all kinds of things. So if you want to go through the process with Amazon Prime and have the stuff sent here, by all means, I'll take it anytime, because I can run it to church without a problem.
Great, thank you. Anybody else? Tony, do you want to tell us what's going on with you guys? Since you're a guest, do you have anything to say, Tony? Let me unmute. There you go. Yep.
Okay. Not much going on here. Still just struggling with everything that's going on with everything being shut down. I do a lot of stuff with the charter school. I'm with the Pride Board over there, and everything that we've had planned for this whole year pretty much is all screwed up with the barbecue bash, the all the stuff that we had planned for that weekend is probably going to be rescheduled for November. But now it's looking like the coronavirus might be back towards the end of the year, so that might get scrubbed till next year sometime. We were going to do a reunion for the original kids that or 25-year reunion, so that's going to get pushed off. So just trying to wrap our heads around everything.
Thanks. Dick, how's things going on your end? Dick Cannon, let me unmute you. Go ahead.
No, not too bad. I want to thank you, first of all, for inviting us. It's a good forum here and things like that, so that's terrific. Working on a few things. I'm working on volunteer hours. We've never really put together volunteer hours in the past and things like that, so that's one of the projects I'm working on myself. And Scott, he's the other member of another member of our group that's on there. I haven't seen his face pop up yet, but I don't know if he's got a good connection or not. But it'll be good to get back whenever we can.
Great, great. Phyllis, you said you had something to say?
Yeah, I just want to let the club know that Ellen, Wendy, myself, and with Stephanie have been working on a multi-club food bank drive. And there'll be more details to come probably next week. Something will go out to the club. But the food banks, as we know, don't need our dollars. They need actual items because giving them the money is not really beneficial to them at this time because they don't have the ability to purchase the amount of items that they need. So we're going to be doing a food drive, and we are involving the other clubs in the area. So just stay tuned for more details on that.
Great, thank you. Poppy?
Yeah, so we got approval yesterday from the Alzheimer's Association that we can start with the team recruitment. So that was put on hold, thinking it's inappropriate time. So I got the 135-page listing of clubs in the villages in PDF form. Of course, they wouldn't give it to me in Excel. Then I had to convert. So I've got that converted into Excel, and I'm almost finished sorting it. We didn't want to reach out to somebody who ran the morning Zumba class, who also ran the Tea Club, who also ran a bridge thing 3 times. So we needed to be able to sort that. So what we're asking for all of the clubs, actually, not just our Rotary Club, we plan on going to the other clubs, is that if you are involved with a specific club and the villages closely, if you would let us know, we would love for you to be able to reach out to your members directly to tell them about the Alzheimer's Walk in October. So if you have any contacts, just drop me an email, shoot me a text. If you're heavily involved in any of the clubs, we'd love for you to have a team at the walk in October.
Great, thank you. Anybody else before I put Marcia up to introduce our speaker today? I'm looking as fast as I can over these 46 participants. This is awesome. This is our biggest number we've had yet. Great job. Anybody? Anybody? Okay. Marcia, if you would please do the honor of introducing our speaker today, that'd be fabulous.
Thank you. Well, my friend Stephanie Urchick is partner and chief operating officer of Doctors at Work, a consulting and training company aimed at assisting organizations and individuals with leadership and business development. She has an undergraduate degree in international relations, a master's degree in education, and a doctorate in leadership studies. A Rotarian since 1991, Stephanie is a member of the Rotary Club of McMurray, Pennsylvania. Amongst her numerous Rotary credentials, She is a past district governor, has served Rotary as a foundation trustee, and has chaired both the Rotary Strategic Planning and RI Foundation Centennial Celebration Committees. Stephanie is currently the Rotary Zone Director for Zones 33 and 34, which for those of you who don't know what that means, it means she's on the board of directors at RI representing the part of the world that we are in and our club is in. Stephanie has been named Rotarian of the Year by both her Rotary District and her Rotary Club, and has received the Distinguished Service Award from Rotary Foundation of Rotary International. In Rotary year 2020-2021, Stephanie will serve as the chair of RI's executive committee. On a more fun level, it might be interesting to note that Stephanie is a polka dancer, a cat mom, a church choir member, and has held the jobs of glass factory worker, talking reindeer, singer in a polka band, and a scout assistant for a Canadian football team. So it's our pleasure to have Stephanie share with us this morning insights into both Rotary International and the RI Foundation. Welcome, Stephanie.
Thank you. Good job.
Thanks, Marcia. What an intro. My goodness. Well, good morning, family of Rotary. It is an honor to be with you. And I have to say, prior to the situation we find ourselves in, the chances of me actually participating with you as a club probably weren't good. So this is amazing to me. A couple of observations before I share some information about how Rotary has responded to COVID. First, you are a morning club. I have been in 3 Rotary clubs, and my first 2 were morning clubs. So I really appreciate the morning platform, and this is great. I love the fact that doing Rotary in the morning sets you up for a great day. You know, you get to have some fellowship and see people and share ideas, and then you get on with your day. So bravo. My current club is a noon club. The second observation is I love the fact that I get to see people and their backgrounds. You know, there are a lot of folks on Zoom who put up virtual backgrounds, and that's okay, but I really like seeing where you are. I like seeing you on the patio. I like seeing you in your bedrooms, in your kitchens, and then I look at what's behind you. I see books, and I see Rotary plaques, and I see pictures. And then I see you have a lot of Hawaiian shirts on. So that really gives me context, and I really appreciate that. So this is really, really a great platform. So let me start by saying, I've been in Rotary nearly 30 years. I have never been more proud to be a Rotarian than I am now. We have had our normal way of operating ripped from us. And in a very short period of time, Rotary clubs around the world have adapted. And Marcia mentioned that as part of my Rotary career, for 3 years, I chaired the Strategic Planning Committee. And one of the priorities of that strategic plan that we have is increase our ability to adapt. Well, my goodness, we are in overdrive. We have certainly figured that out. And what it says to me is that it proves that we as an organization are able to take risks, to be innovative, to be creative, and to carry on the magic of Rotary. So what Marcia asked me to chat with you this morning about is how Rotary has responded to COVID-19. So I really want to talk about 3 different pieces of that. And I'm going to start first with our staff. As an organization, you know, our staff is headquartered in Evanston, and then we have 6 international offices. As a staff, as an organization, Rotary never shut down. We never closed. We just simply figured out how to operate differently. Sometime in mid-March, I forget the exact date, General Secretary John Hugo, reacting to what was happening in Illinois and directives from their governor, asked all staff in Evanston to work from home for 1 day to see if Rotary had the band capacity, if people had enough information available to them to do their jobs from home. So they had a test day, and the test was very successful. So on the very next day, when the governor of Illinois shut down most of, or all of, the state, Rotary was ready that following Monday to have every staff member work from home. So from that period on, we have never lost any service from any of our staff. They're available, they're working from home. I've asked for information, and within 24 hours, I'm able to get it. So that is an amazing and remarkable achievement to that. And I share that with you because we learned through President Mark Maloney that Kiwanis was not so lucky. They were not set up and able to adapt as readily because most of their staff did not have technology, and so they just had a harder time adapting to the crisis. So we should be very proud as the largest and greatest service organization that we have continued to maintain a presence and to help our clubs and districts around the world. So what has Rotary International and what has the Rotary Foundation done in response to COVID-19? Well, the RI board at its April board meeting made some really serious decisions about moving forward with events and meetings, keeping in mind the health and safety of all our participants. The RI board took a decision that all RI meetings for the board of directors and for committees will be held virtually through the end of the year. They also gave strong suggestions to all district governors coming in that they hold all of their club meetings with clubs that they should visit virtually. They asked all directors who are conveners of institutes to put those governor-elect training seminars and summits and institutes online through 2020. Next year's president, Holger Knack, who takes office on July 1st, has already indicated that he will not be sending any president's reps to any conferences for the entire Rotary year. In fairness to all districts, even if things change in January, he feels it's more fair to have that mandate cross the entire Rotary year. And if a district wishes to have a president's rep, they can do that, but they would have to support the transportation costs of getting that rep to the conference. And it also needs to be in the region where the district is happening. So Rotary is really taking a look at our demographic. You know, as an organization in North America, for instance, the average age of Rotarians is 60.9. So that means as a group, the majority of us are in that vulnerable class. So Rotary is really looking seriously at the health and safety of participants. We don't know. We don't know when a vaccine will be available. We don't know when countries will lift certain restrictions on travel. So out of utmost care and safety for our members, Rotary made those decisions so that we can be in a safe situation. While some of that may be disappointing, oh my God, it opens up so many opportunities with us. I heard your president mention that there's a record number of people on the call today, and I'm seeing that in so many of the meetings that I've been attending on Zoom. For my club, for instance, at a regular club meeting, we may get 20 people out of our 45 members. But on the Zoom calls, we're getting 39, 40. So it really suggests to me that people are finding this way of connecting to be convenient and to be easy. I know there's at least 2 members in our club who regularly don't come to our meetings because for them it means leaving their place of employment at 11:30 in the morning and driving, then spending the hour at the meeting, And then getting back in the car and driving back to work, that's a 2-hour window. And there aren't many places and many employers who are flexible enough to look at a 2-hour absence from the day as being something that they would approve. So for us, it's been a great way to bring in more people into the club. The other aspect of online meetings, which I'm sure you're experiencing as well, is that we're saving money, not just time, we're saving money. My club happens to meet at a restaurant, so during this time that we're away, we aren't paying meal fees. So it's bringing the cost of Rotary down for our club, and I'm seeing that all over our zone. You may or may not know that the 3 directors in our 2 paired zones, David Stovall, who is from Zone 34, and me, I'm from Zone 33, we're serving together this year. And next year, Peter Kyle will come on board. So he is a director-elect right now. Every weekend since mid-March, we have been doing 2 Zoom calls. We do one at Friday morning at 7:30. We always have a program. We generally have a cameo guest appearance of some well-known Rotarian, and sometimes we have a theme. Then on Monday morning at noon, well, I guess that's afternoon, at noon, we repeat the program. We have the same program, a different cameo guest, and a theme. And depending on which of those 2 meetings is better after we look at the recordings, we post one to the zone website. So if you'd like to go back and take a look at that, we've had programs on how to stay sane during COVID-19. We've had programs about the Rotary Foundation and how it's handling the response. We had a visit from Paul Harris last weekend, when a Rotarian who is from Minnesota, he dresses as Paul, and then he addresses us in the presentation as if he is Paul Harris. Interestingly enough, that would make him 153 years old, and so he looked pretty good. So we've had a number of different ideas and programs, and we did that to help for 2 reasons. First of all, to help people see how easy it is really to have a virtual meeting, and how much fun it is to take a look at everybody and share information in this strange time that we have. And secondly, we know that there are some clubs, you are not one of them, but there are some clubs who have not yet embraced the technology for a number of reasons. So we wanted to give those members an option to jump on and have some fellowship at the zone level. So Rotary International and those of us in the zone, we are looking at how to keep the 2 elements of our organization. We love fellowship and we love service. So we're trying to keep those 2 things going. I've heard so many clubs talk about at-home service projects. We had a club recently here in Western Pennsylvania who asked all of its members to buy peanut butter and take the peanut butter through a drive-by drop zone, and it happened to be one of our golf clubs that was closed. And then the owner of the golf club gathered up all that peanut butter and took it to our local food bank. So there are ways that clubs are being creative to do service. Another club in our zone did something called Rotary Fast. And on one day, they asked members of their club to do one of 3 things. If they totally fasted for the day, if they could, they donated $10. If they partially fasted, meaning they only had 1 meal, they donated $15. And if they didn't fast at all, but still wanted to participate, they gave $20. And then they used all of that money and used it to support a local food bank who was still able to get supplies during that time. So people are being creative. Rotarians have that spirit of serving, and they're figuring out how to make the magic of Rotary continue. The Rotary Foundation also has responded to COVID-19 and has done some similar things as the RI board. It is also meeting virtually. So they are not generating any kind of travel or bringing people, because obviously the building in Evanston is closed. So they're doing things virtually. One of the most significant decisions that the trustees have taken, they moved money from the World Fund and other funds into our Rotary Disaster Response Fund for COVID-19. They have transferred about $3 million to that fund. That fund allows clubs and districts to apply for district grants or global grants for your own communities or other communities to help with the response to this pandemic. There is also a telethon happening this Saturday morning, and it will be on at, I believe, 11 a.m. And the purpose of the telethon, it'll be a 1-hour telethon. The purpose is to raise money for the COVID response from Rotary. So if you are able to participate and take a look at it, you can do that. It will be live streamed, so you can check the RI website. It'll be on the RI YouTube site, and it will be 1 hour of inspiring messages from people in the foundation and Rotarians from around the world dealing with our pandemic. The link for that fundraising effort is currently open. So if you do go to our Rotary website, you can also donate now if that is something you're able to do and that you care to do. So those are just some ideas about how Rotary as an organization has looked at the situation we have ourselves in and has responded. What we see going forward, who knows? We don't have a crystal ball, but I can tell you just by what I see on Zoom meetings with Rotarians all over the world, I think that many clubs will embrace some hybrid of technology and face-to-face when we are finally able to get together. I've heard clubs talk about, gee, you know, that's really kind of fun. Let's have one virtual meeting a month. Let's do one face-to-face meeting a month. Let's do one social, and then let's do one service project, and all kinds of hybrids of that. So I think the future for Rotary is bright. If we continue to remember that all of us are on the membership committee for our clubs. And if we extend invitations for people to join us, I've noticed today that you have other people on this call who are not in your club. Bravo, that's marvelous. You know, I know in our zone weekend meetings, I always ask a non-Rotarian friend to jump on to just see what we're doing. I think it's a good way for us to show the world what's happening. People are craving connections, and that's what we're doing. We're connecting people. So we have an opportunity as an organization to actually get stronger. So I send a thank you and a congratulations to you for jumping on this bandwagon. I think it's marvelous. It's been fun seeing you this morning, and I will open myself up to any questions that you might have. You can either put them in the chat, or you can raise your hand, and your president, Stephanie, will let me know that we have a question. I see a hand.
Good morning. I'm Joe Weber, and
Hi, Joe.
I'm the district foundation chair, and our district did apply for your district disaster response grant, and we're awarded the $25,000. So I want to thank you and the foundation for helping us get the face mask and the face shields for our local hospitals. Thank you.
Fabulous. Thank you for doing that. Any other questions or comments? I see another hand.
Go ahead, Paul.
Hi, good morning. How do you think the overall membership is going to be affected by the COVID-19?
Again, we don't.
1.2 million people. Is that going to be affected, do you think?
Again, we don't have a crystal ball, and we have no way of knowing that. There are clubs like yours who are managing to keep the connection going. My personal concern are for those clubs who aren't doing that. Because if members, the longer they stay away from some kind of Rotary magic, the more likely it is that they may say, I didn't need it, I didn't miss it, maybe I won't go back. So I'm concerned about the clubs that aren't jumping into other ways of connecting. But we have no way of really knowing that until we come out of it. On the flip side, as I mentioned, we see a lot of interest from non-Rotarians, past Rotarians, who are looking at what we're doing and saying, you know, that's kind of cool. Look how you're getting together and you're making things happen in this time. I want to be a part of that. So Paul, there's really not an answer at this time. I'm hopeful that there are more of us doing what we're doing this morning than not, and that we will come out of it as a stronger organization.
Thank you.
Great. Stephanie, I had a question come from someone texted me. What do you think is going to happen with our international dues since we pay them on a 6-month basis? Has anything been discussed about that?
No, at our April board meeting, we had no discussion about dues. It may come up in our June board meeting, but as of right now, there hasn't been any indication. Certainly, there could be an argument made that a delay might be warranted because of the situation we're in. I do not think that our international dues will reduce in any way because we haven't stopped as an organization. Our club dues may change, our district dues may change, but the international dues, I don't think will see a drop simply because as an organization, we have remained viable and visible and operating. But as far as any kind of delay in processing, that would have to come at a June board meeting. And I'm not sure what the agenda is yet because we haven't seen it.
Right, because we're still getting our magazine and everything's still coming. Right.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Anybody else? I'm trying to see if anybody raised it. Hey, Doug Mintz, glad you could join us. Good morning.
And Dick Phoebus is now on.
Hey, Dick, good morning. Go ahead, Dick, you're unmuted.
Yeah, I'm just saying good morning. I'm here. A little groggy, but I'm here. Sorry I missed the talk. I would be very interested, but it just wasn't possible this morning.
It's okay, Dick. I understand completely. I also recorded it for you guys, so if you have anybody that you want to send it to. Is there anybody else with questions?
Well, thank you all for letting me join you this morning. It was a pleasure, and I hope that we can do this again.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. Phyllis, did you have something that you wanted to give a quick update on? Did we lose Phyllis?
It looks like Richard Canyon wants to say something, but
okay.
Richard, you need to unmute yourself.
Go ahead.
Oh, Steph, wait a minute. Here, let me see.
I unmuted you. You're ready.
Okay. All right, thank you. Hey, Steph, would you the recording, would you send a link out to us also, our club members?
Yeah, absolutely.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yep, because I can send it to your whole club, so I can take care of that. No problem.
Good. Thank you.
Yep. Anybody else? Phyllis?
Okay, so I just really wanted to talk a little further about what Stephanie was just presenting on. The fact that, everything it's going to be a whole different way of doing business, socializing, et cetera, going forward. And a lot of, the clubs that are doing the virtual meetings, the Zooms, or, whatever programs they're using, that is keeping people engaged, and that's what's most important in any organization or any company. And so I just want people to know, I know there's been a lot of, you know, talk about Zoom and it not being secure, but Zoom recognized that. I mean, Zoom was overwhelmed in the beginning. It crashed many times because people were just jumping on it. And so there's a very big difference of what Zoom was before and what it is today. And the beginning of April, Zoom changed their security policy and all of their firewalls. And yes, there still is a small, you know, there is, this, you know, when you go online, no matter how secure you think you are, you're always open, you know, you're always putting yourself out there to be hacked. So, you know, it's just the way of the world. But if you have a paid account, there are connections. Like as an example, when I send out a Zoom meeting, I have to be connected to our VPN. We have, my company has huge firewalls. I can't even reload a new printer without going to my IT department. So it's very, Zoom is as secure as any other, you know, if you bank online or pay an electric bill online, Zoom is just as secure as those sites are now. What I'm concerned about is I think we have a great participation every week. We even get people on our Tuesday morning coffee chats. We do great happy hours on Friday nights. We get people drinking together and hanging out. So Trailblazers has become the Friday night Zoom. And I think there's people in our club that haven't participated or jumped on because they're just not familiar with it. And you can do it even from your phone. Not everyone has to have the camera. You can listen in and talk and participate. So I think maybe we should look at who has not been on any of these Zoom meetings in the past month that we have taken the initiative and done this. And maybe we each reach out to them and ask them, why haven't they been on? Is it because they're just not familiar with the program? And walk them through it and help them get into a meeting, because even though the regional rec centers are going to be opening soon, I seriously doubt that we're going to have packed meetings because, you know, for a long time. And if an organization like Rotary is looking to do just about everything virtual, then we should be following their lead, because we are, you know, for our Rotary meetings, we are Rotary. Right. So I think we just didn't need to do a reach out to those that have not been on these calls and just ask them if it's because they're just not familiar, and try to help them.
Thanks, Phyllis. Dick, Beavis.
Yeah, now that you got me here, I've thought of a couple things I just wanted to say about, number one, with regard to what you all are talking about today, for the club members who are not aware of this, I think you would probably have suspected it. We're sponsoring 3 global grants, all of which have to do with cleft lip and palate operations in Central and South America. All 3 of those have been suspended, although the money's still in place, the apparatus is still in place, but we just, Advent Health is just not going to recruit and send medical technicians and physicians to South America at this point. So they're still in force. We're still going to do it someday. It may be a year from now. It may be 2 years from now. But that program is not going to falter. Secondly, I know some of you, including, let's see, Brent, have you gotten your checks from Uncle Big Daddy yet?
Yep, they showed up this morning.
Okay, well, I suggested to the club back some time ago that there are many of us in this club who don't need that money at all. And in order to stimulate the economy, I would suggest that you send it to our newly established pandemic, or at least some of it, share some of it with our newly established pandemic fund at our foundation. I don't know whether Glenda's on or not. Glenda, we had $2,400, $2,500 in that fund so far. And we have distributed a couple of thousand of that to local organizations who needed it to deal with the issues that they need to deal with right now. And I'd really like to see us build that fund so we can do the things we need to do to help this community out.
Yeah, right now, we only have a balance of $375.
Okay, so
And just so the club knows that once the money comes in and we reach a point where we can meet on it, then we're making decisions based upon who we're reaching out into the community to get that money to them. So last week at the board meeting, we sent another $1,000 to the Salvation Army and another $1,000 to the Children's Home Society out of Ocala. And they got their money. And Jessica emailed me and she was very thankful and shocked and wasn't expecting it because she's like, is this a mistake? And I was like, no, this is we wanted it to go to you guys. So put it to good use. So Glenda?
Oh, I don't have anything else. That was it.
Okay.
You know, I just wanted to say that right now with new tax laws, 100% of any contributions are tax deductible back to last April 15th, from my understanding.
Hey, Scott Sander, can you put your voice on? Is that true? We haven't seen or heard from you in a while.
Hello.
Hey, Scott.
Sorry, ask that again.
How are you doing? Ellen said that 100% of donations are now tax deductible by April 15th.
If they're going to charity.
Yeah, there's still some other limitations, but generally you're right.
How are things otherwise, Scott?
Everything's great. Thank you, guys.
Good to see or hear from you.
Just wanted to bring out, saw that 2J's has filed for bankruptcy protection.
Wow. Wendy?
Yeah, I wanted to piggyback on what Dick said. Again, we have been generous with our money, and so financially we've been giving, but don't forget, we're going to get that food drive together. And those of you on the call from the Noon Club, please encourage a contact person, at least one, to get on the meeting that we have scheduled for tomorrow to discuss that. It won't be a huge piece of time for you. They'll all be done on the same day, and a couple hours of your time at the operations point, planning point may take a little longer, but please join us tomorrow so we can have a successful food drive.
Yeah, that's so true. Again, those suppliers are having trouble getting the food to the food banks. So with all the food banks that supply Sumter and Marion and Lake, there's just really a lack of supplies of food right now. And that's non-perishable goods.
Yes, and not expired.
Right.
Please look at the cans before you empty them out of your pantry.
Yeah.
Stephanie, a couple of weeks ago, I had been asked about club donation to the Clean Kids Backpack program and said that we could defer for a while because we were still in the process of sorting and trying to figure out how to get things distributed and using the money to supplement what we did not have. At this point, whatever the club has chosen to donate to Clean Kids Backpack, we could take the money at this point because we're ready to start adding to our cache of supply. We know that there are items that are needed. It's interesting that this year we did not collect almost any feminine hygiene supplies for the young teen girls that need it so desperately. So we know we're going to have to be buying that kind of item. So any money, I have no idea what the club had planned on giving to Backpack. I will take whatever the decision is because we can use anything that we've got.
And just what he's saying with feminine hygiene products, you know, as a teacher, I've seen it, and you know, in Wildwood High and Leesburg High, 95% of the kids are eligible for free and reduced lunch. So that gives you a picture of the elementary schools that feed into those schools, the middle schools that feed into those schools, and the general demographics of that population. There's a lot of those that are in need. And as a teacher, I've had students that take and leave the classroom, and every teacher's classroom, a certain child will a certain time a month, because not only are they getting a pad for themselves, but they're also getting what they can at home because they don't have any at home, or they're getting what they can for other family members. So one of the things we did is we supplied those items, you know, to the Rock and Leesburg, but it is very much needed.
In the past, we've always taken the feminine hygiene supplies, and in many cases, we've stacked the nurses' offices or the health offices at the schools, middle school and high school, because Ellen, you're so right about the fact that so many of these kids are in need, and it's not something that they routinely purchase, and they rely on the school to help supply. Well, but they don't take the supply just for themselves. For the incident that they're experiencing right now, they take the supply for 2 or 3 other family members that may be needed sometime in the next 2 to 3 weeks.
Great.
Stephanie?
Yep.
Yeah, Gail, we earmarked and approved $2,000 for your organization, and Glinda already has the green sheet for you, so it's just a matter of cutting the check and getting it to you.
Great.
That's fine. Thank you. I thank you to everyone from the club, because believe me, this is one of those cases of we go to places like the dollar stores and beg, borrow, and steal, but we also will take that check and we will take cash with us, because nothing speaks louder when you go to one of these stores than cash, when you can wave, you know, greenbacks in front of them.
Great. All right, so thank you for all that. Jean, one more before we do a recap.
Sure. Just to piggyback on what Gail's asking, my mom it's at least once a month will give me some items to donate to the backpack program. And she gets those through her insurance, meaning that she gets a credit from her insurance for a specific shopping site, and you either use the money or lose the money. And I know that's true for many insurance companies for health insurance. And so you may want to look into your insurance if it has an option, because it's free money. And if you're not using it, you could be using it to do good. She's able to buy toothpaste and other essential items that get donated.
Great. Okay, everybody, just as a recap, I feel like we got a really plentiful amount of information today. Thank you, Stephanie. I jotted down some great ideas that you had with the Rotary fasting and invite a friend to a meeting. So we should be considering some of those things. And then also I put information in the chat about the Saturday morning telethon, which I'll send you via email. And Greg, I took your idea and went online. So Gail, you'll be getting some stuff to your house from Amazon on a monthly basis. That's something that's easy for us to do right from here, add it to your Amazon subscription. Please reach out to some of our members. I know the board, we were trying to do that as well. If you had a difficulty getting a hold of anybody, please let me know so that maybe somebody else can try to get a hold of them. There will be a board meeting immediately following this meeting for who will be participating on Sean's board for 2020-2021. That was sent to you in an email on a separate link. So I've got one final thought for you today. Not every day is a good day, but keep living anyway. Not all you love will love you back. Love anyway. Not everyone will tell you the truth, but be honest anyway. Not all deals are fair, but continue to play fair anyway. Ben Benzel, will you please lead us out in our four-way test, if you're still there?
Four-way test, you betcha. Four-way test of the things we say and do. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it be build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned?
And
Stay
is it
healthy,
fun?
have fun.
And is it fun? Thank you, everybody.
Enjoy.
Bye.
Thank
you.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
See ya. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Nicely done.
Thank you, Stephanie, again.
Stephanie,
Yes.
I didn't get the link to get into the board meeting.
Okay, Jeffrey, hold on. I sent it at 7 o'clock. Check your email again.
Hey, Dick, how's Dale doing?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, Dale got out of surgery at somewhere between 12:30 and 1 a.m. last night.
Oh.
It was probably 3 hours on the table. She had a block. They did a nerve block in her arm, so she, which will probably last 18 hours. So I talked to her at about 1:30. Actually, I got into the hospital. I don't know how I did, but somehow the guy felt sorry for me at the door and let me in when he was chasing everybody else away. There were only 2 people in the orthopedic wing, where normally it would be full. It was Dale and a young boy. So anyway, they kicked me out when they took her to the operating room. They wouldn't let me stay in the hospital, so I drove home, and I'm home right now. But I talked to her at 1:30 in the morning, and she was doing fine. I called her on her cell phone. She thought she was doing fine, but she was probably 3 sheets to the wind. The charge nurse called me and said she was fine. She was doing all right. All her vital signs, everything were fine. I have not talked to the surgeon. My suspicion is it was a very complicated operation because she had broken the head of her wrist. It was actually sticking out probably a ½ inch out of the skin. And she had ligament and ligament damage and all that kind of stuff. So she had good feeling in all of her fingers. So apparently there wasn't a lot of nerve damage. So the answer is, I think she's doing well. I don't think she will be pitching for the Red Sox this season. But she's dealing with it, and her spirits were pretty good, actually. Pretty good. So that's the update on that. Yeah, I'm probably going to go up at 10 o'clock today and see if I can force my way in. I'll take at least one of my rifles with me, and we'll see what happens.
Love to her.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks.
Tell her she's in our prayers, Richard.
Yeah, thank you all.
Yeah. Sure. Well, if you need anything while you're home alone, let us know.
I need to know how to turn on the dishwasher.
That's what I was thinking. Cooking you meals.
The clothes are piling up in front of the dryer.
After one day.
One day, and we're in trouble.
Making homemade bread.
I do know how to push the buttons on the microwave, though. That's the saving grace. I can do that.
Doug, I can't hear you. Hold on. For some reason, you're still on mute, Doug. Oh, he's on the phone. I thought he was trying to talk to us.
He's on the phone. Oh, I have Dick Canyon on the phone. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. I saw your lips moving, and I was like, is he trying to talk to us?
No, I'm being rude.
No, that's okay. Hey, Mark, Mark, did you pop that pool yet?
Not yet. It's still good.
Anyway, yeah, Stephanie, send me the link for tomorrow with the time and stuff, because I don't know. I may have inadvertently deleted those. I kept the morning meeting stuff I got, but yeah, if you could send that, I'll hop online.
Okay, cool. We'll get you on there.
Hi, Suzanne.
Hey, if you can, Stephanie, if you can, send it to the whole new Rotary. You can.
Okay, yeah, I'm trying to. I was trying to get. You have a lot of people in your club who've opted out of their meeting, like opted out of their P-mail. Do you think that was an accident or?
No, we gotta work on that. Dick and I will work on that.
Okay, because I don't mind helping. So.
Yeah, I understand. We are just talking about that on the phone a little bit too. So I gotta go, and yeah, shoot that out again. We appreciate it. We'll see you guys next week and probably tomorrow too.
No problem. Bye.
Stephanie, I just want to know, Tony DiNicola,
Does he live at that beach or was that a background video?
I don't know. That was a pretty awesome background. He
Well,
lives
yeah, I wanna
in
be
Freedom
there.
Park. I know, right?
Is Suzanne still on? Yeah, I see.
I'm still here, Dale. I'm still here, Dick.
Yeah, I just wanted to tell you, Suzanne, everybody, just before Dale went to the hospital, it made masks for Dale and me. And we were the classiest mask in the hospital, let me tell you that.
Yay. Please give her my love.
Oh,
Thinking
I
about
will.
her.
I will. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Okay, y'all ready to join the next meeting? Jeff, did you get the link?
Do you get the link?
I gotta go in and see if I can find it. So I'm leaving.
I just sent it at 7 a.m. So it came from you.
that meeting.
Yeah, we got it. So I have to leave this
Yep.
meeting.
Okay.
My technical director says.
Okay, good. All right. Hey, Jody.
Hi, Jody.
Bye. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.